This is the first video in my 5-part series of contingencies that should be baked into every trust that often are not. Why would we want contingencies in our trust? Let me tell you, because sometimes life throws us a curveball and something happens to one of our beneficiaries that we don't anticipate at the time of drafting and executing our trust or even a will. So one of those things could be death. That's number one. You always need to plan for what if, God forbid, one of your beneficiaries predeceases you. And while statistically that may not be likely if they are a child or a grandchild, unfortunately things do happen. And I think the best trust plans have built-in contingency plans for what if the unthinkable happens and one of our beneficiaries predeceases. One of the first things we can do is something called a per stirpes distribution. Per stirpes means down the bloodlines. So if that beneficiary, typically a child, leaves behind their own children, your grandchildren, then would you want their share to go downstream? Often, my families do want that. But what if they don't have children? Then we need to have a secondary contingency. If they're married, maybe you want it to go to their spouse. Not often, but sometimes you do. So that's another option. Another option would be something called a per capita distribution. And that means if you have 4 children and one of them predecease you, then we just divide it by 3 instead of 4, and everybody gets a little bit larger pro rata share. I see many wills and trusts that I review from other well-known attorneys that just says, evenly to my children, the end. Well, that's great. They saved a page or two, but what the hell do we do if one of your children predecease you? What would you want to happen? And then ultimately there's another option that I forgot to mention before. So it could go down to children, it could go to spouses, it could go pooled up to the other named beneficiaries, or it could go to some charity or third party that hasn't even otherwise been mentioned in the trust. So that's thing number one that needs to be in all of your will or trust documents, is planning for potential death of one of your beneficiaries. Where does their share go? Read your own document. You'd be surprised if it doesn't say where it goes. You should probably find a better lawyer. Have a great day.